Welcome back to Currency 365 and welcome to, Prime Minister Abadi's Monday statements, I guess. It's what I'm going to basically call the audio here. I'm just going to be reading you guys the statements that are made by Abadi this morning, this Monday morning. All right, so let's begin here. Abadi says, "We are working to achieve fairness and justice, and let us on reforms, and if he has entrusted me with this my life." Now remember, it's going to sound weird because it's a translation from Arabic to English. So basically, Abadi's saying we are working to achieve fairness and justice, and the reforms are basically the things that could cost him his life. Okay, so and the Iraqi people have entrusted him with the reforms. Okay, and he will give his life to make sure Iraq sees a brighter future. So that's basically what that says. Um, let's look at another one he did. It says the fight against political share part of the fight against corruption, because the party personally loyalty led to provide close at the expense of professionalism and efficient people. This is unfair and destroying the society, and we will not allow this. All right, so he's saying the fight against political share part of the fight against corruption. So basically, the people that are in the government, okay, are the political people are ones that they're fighting against, because those are the God people, the women and the men that are the ones who are corrupting the government. Okay, and they're doing it because of personal gains that are coming out of their corruption, their money laundering, okay, and all the things that they're doing, okay, are giving them personal wealth. Now, if you heard the BGG live call yesterday, or the 3-part series I put up on my channel, Currency 365, you would hear BGG read the names of wealthy people, and how many of them were Iraqis. There was at least 4 or 5 of them, right, that were on the list of billionaires. Like, I mean, where did they get this money from? Before they even came into office, they weren't billionaires. They came into office in government, not billionaires, and they left billionaires. There's something wrong when you're leaving a billionaire and the country is not even on the global market. That's a lot of corruption. And this is why these people are the one fighting Abadi. It's not the people that are doing good. It's not the people that are trying to help the Iraqi people. It's all of the people that have stolen all of the money. Why? Because when Abadi does these reforms, they are going to be tried in international courts or Iraqi courts or Arab courts, okay? And they're going to be arrested and tried, and that's why they're now scared to death. All right, money doesn't mean anything when you're about to be tried on genocide or money laundering. Your money means nothing anymore. So now they're scared out of their minds. So that's exactly what we're going through right now. All right, and that's what the body's talking about there. Let's continue here. The body says, let's see, the people may something. What is this? This translation is horrible. It came out, the word came out wrong, so I got to put this together. It says, I'm going to skip that word and then we'll see if it makes sense later. It says, people may on difficult economic conditions, but us patients on the existence of a layer and enjoy the privileges of protections. Okay, what is he saying there? People may on difficult. Okay, so basically, I think he's saying the conditions of the Iraqi people and the economic situation of the Iraqi people are very bad, and has been bad. Okay, but their patience, okay, of this will bring great joy and privileges and protection to the Iraqi people as they rip off the corruption and bring them back to a global market economy, give them purchasing power, give them jobs. They'll be able to buy weapons for themselves and all types of things like that. I think that's what he's saying there on that translation. I had to skip a couple of words because the translation came out wrong. All right, so let's translate another one he said today. Okay, let's see. I said from the outset that the demonstrations are warning bell helps us to address the imbalance in our political system and corruption, or I mean, and cooperation. Well, I think it should mean corruption. And cooperation to address the issue of salary and protections. All right, so yep, so cooperation. This should be the word there. Okay. All right. Yeah, so let's see the demonstrations. Yep. And you know what? It's funny because the demonstrations is really what kicked off the reforms. Okay, so the people got very, at the end, they were very tired. There was no electricity, there's barely any food, there's no clean water. And so they said, let's go out here, but let's not demonstrate in violence. Let's just demonstrate in numbers. So, and let's just demonstrate peacefully. And that's exactly what they were doing. They weren't protesting, they were just demonstrating. Protesting is more violent. Okay, so they were demonstrating, and that was when the religious leader came out and said, Abadi, you need to go now. It's time to go. It's time to become a legend. Remember when I put that video out? Abadi, it's time to become a legend. Then I called him out several weeks before, and then I called him out again that same week. Sistani came out and called him out, and then somebody in the parliament called him a sissy, and then all of a sudden a body comes out like a new man in front of the world and says, everybody's fired. Maliki, you're fired. Alawi, you're fired. Jafari, you're fired. Like Najafi, you're fired. I'm removing all deputy positions. It's like we all were like, "Woo, what is going on?" You know what I mean? I think the guy who called him a sissy really put him over the edge. You know, so he's like, then he was like, I ain't no sissy. Here's the reforms, and I will die over these reforms. And we was like, all right, so we're gonna see our evaluation then. Thank you, buddy. More likely, thank that guy who called you a sissy. You know, and isn't that funny that you're gonna see a evaluation because some guy called a body a sissy? Isn't that interesting? All right, so let's see here. Another one. Let me translate it here. Okay, let's see if this one makes sense. If it is the responsibility of the government to protect their officials from terrorism, that does not mean that there will be met armies, states, 3 teams, match officials. There could be one person, the protection of 800 or 500 people, and the country needed to combat forces defend the homeland and the people. Okay, that translation was horrible, but I understand what he's saying. Hope you guys do. If you're not, I'll do it for you guys right now. All right. So Alawi came out and was mad about the protection that Abadi's doing, the bodyguard protection, and he's reducing that number drastically because several of the people that are about to be out of the parliament anyways, they have 500 to 900 people guarding them daily. That is a lot of people to guard one person, okay? So Abadi's saying those people that are guarding you, they could be out here fighting ISIS and Daesh and protecting the country's borders and stuff. Why are they protecting one person, okay? So he's saying we're cutting that down and we're going to use these people to combat terrorism and defend the homeland and the people of Iraq, not to protect the corrupt people. Okay, so and Alawi got mad like, I need my 500 people to protect me. It's like Abadi stand telling them like, look, man, I walk out here with like two people with me, at times. And if you're doing right and you're doing right by the government and the people, you don't need 500 people protecting you. That means you're doing something wrong. Okay, so let's move on to the next one here. It says, this will be the last one. It says, as the prime minister, when I roam around the field visits, not cut down roads. I do not use the armored vehicles and deployed the need of measures of the officials for protection. All right, so that's basically what I just said. Okay, so Abadi's saying that when he visits places in Iraq, he doesn't need armored vehicles and 500 people protecting him because he's for the people and he wants to do good for the people. And if you're doing good for the people, you shouldn't have to have armored vehicles and all types of things like that for the people. I mean, to go around the provinces of Iraq. Okay, you only need that if you're doing corrupted things and you're scared for your life. All right, guys, so that was Monday Mornings with Abadi. I think there's several more. Yeah, there actually is like 3 or 4 more things here. He's talking about the volunteers, family members. Let's see this one here. This one he's talking about citizens and investors, protecting them from corruption. And another one he's talking about, let's see. He's talking about freedom. Let's see, and the sacrifice that the people have made for the country. Okay, and the lives they've given for the country. All right, so yeah, so Abadi had a lot of things to say this morning. This is why I'm doing the video, Abadi statements, and that's about it. We got to hear from the Prime Minister of Iraq, okay, because he's the one that's putting all this stuff together, and he's the one that's going to see us through with this launch of the global market economy, the private section, and the revaluation of the currency, so we can, finish the job. Okay, now Dr. Shabibi, we still haven't heard much from him, but I think we'll probably hear something soon. I expect him to be back by first couple of weeks of October, so we'll see what happens. All right, so Currency 365, I'm out.